What's up, y'all? Y'all already know. It's your boy, Mr. Jindyanajones, Mr. JIndyCollects, coming back to y'all. Oh, shoot, I'm uneven. I'm uneven. It don't matter. I'm having a great, blessed day, if you want to use those terms, right here before our micro blue moon. I think the complete illumination starts around 4:45 a.m., which is pretty cool. So I'm just walking around, utilizing my walk so I can hop into my transient hyperfrontality mode. And by that, I'm gonna use just aggregate logic and talk with y'all like I normally do. Now, previously, if you look at all my videos back in 2018, 19, 2022, 2021, 2022, you would notice I pretty much be doing the same thing. Walking. Usually I'll probably be walking at a park. Wherever it's at is nature. I walk in nature. That's me, Jindyanajones. I also upgraded my name twice, so I had to stop to say this. Yes, I'm J-Indy. You can find me J-Indy anywhere. Jindyanajones. I'm the only J-Indyanajones in the world. I know a lot of people say Jindy and Jindyanajones because I would take that dash out from the and that's in the middle of the J and the I. But it's always J-Indy, just to let y'all know if you didn't. But it's okay, I understand. But I created my business now, and it is J-IndyCollects. So with my TCG, you know, I do Pokemon, I do vintage Pokemon, I do Dragon Ball Z Super. I said Dragon Ball Z Super. It's DBS now, not DBZ, but anywho, if you know, you know. But I do Fusion World, I do Masters, and I dibble and dabble in like Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, One Piece, Universe, and League of Legends, Lorcana. I got like a lot of little cards, but I started a whatnot. I've been streaming for a week now, and I got over 70 sales, which is pretty good, and it's building every day. I don't stream every day, but I'm getting to it. The only reason I don't stream every day because this business I'm building is still just a whole enterprise, and it's huge. For the fact that I am a polymathic overanalyzer and I got a hyper complex mind, I'm a system thinker and an architect with that. So I mix a lot of lanes all together simultaneously to show how they all correlate together to make one mathematically inevitability and strategic perfection for it to happen. Since the past up until now, the present, I also is big into AI now. Now, my past videos, you'll see how I used to talk bad about 5G, and I talk bad about AI and things like this before it was even created. This is before people became content creators. This is before podcasting became a mainstream of income when I used to do it. And I got out of the hobby because it's overly saturated. But it's okay. I'm slightly getting back into it, but I'm getting back into it just to let y'all know where I've been, and I'm still just the same person. No, I don't got all them high-tech phones. I don't got no microphone on me. I don't got none of that. It's raw. It's raw. Yes, I will invest into the business now that I do actually have a business. I'm on Whatnot and I'm on eBay. I started I just tripped. Nobody seen that. My eBay started directly a week ago as far as me selling. And I've been listing every day, which you should do because I understand algorithm now. I guess this video would be more so, I guess I'm trying to tie in everything as much as I can to everything. This video is raw, so I really don't know what to talk about, but to talk about what I know and what I'm doing. But I don't know which way to go, so it's just gonna come. A lot of it gonna be sporadic. It's just gonna come. Take what you can. If you want, it's cool. If not, it's cool. I'm just trying to let y'all know. And I just feel like talking. I mean, the energy is great. Energy is great. I also rock Hound. I know y'all like, wait, he didn't even finish. It's okay. It's gonna come. It's gonna come eventually. I rock Hound too. It's beautiful, right? I'm not necessarily rock hounding now, but the thing is, if I see a nice specimen, my prospecting self will collect it. I got over 600 specimens at home that I'm still in the manage of separating, sorting, and cleaning. But it's almost on the back burner based on the fact of I just completely started doing my whatnot streams and my eBay listing. I sold 2 cars on eBay so far in this 1 week. And, ooh, excuse me. And my overall, excuse me, a lot of gas. I gotta take some baking soda. But anyway, I made around $300 just off of 2 sales in 1 week so far. And I also have, let's see how much I got. I got about 70 listings on eBay so far. And I'm just gonna keep posting. The algorithm on eBay, the way that it works is feed the system. It's hungry. It just wants you to feed me. If you ever seen Little Shop of Horrors, feed me, Seymour, right? You got to feed the system. You can feed it 100 different items a day if you want to. That's okay. It don't care about 100 items a day. It care about you feeding the system daily. If you feeding the system 3 listings a day, that's great. That's what eBay wants you to do. It don't care that you gave it 7 items, right? Say 7 items worth a whole lot of money, and you sold those items within a week. The thing is, you wasn't listening every day. You set a whole week trying to see if those 7 items were selling, and they did. Yes, every platform want to make money and revenue, but it also caters to retention, and it caters to store brands. And you're not really necessarily a store brand if you're not listening every day in the eyes of algorithm. If you feed in the system feel comfortable about you. So I list every day. Yeah, it's been some days I listed like 1 or 2 things, but I strongly at least list about 10 to 15 items a day. On my JIndyCollects channel on eBay, I said channel, but my eBay on JIndyCollects, it has, the TCG like I was just telling you about. I'm also into sports cars now, and I've been getting into sports cars, but that would come out in the future. But if you want to buy anything or check out what I got, I'm not soliciting, I'm not telling y'all to buy my stuff. I'm just trying to give y'all an output of what's going on. So not only do I got cars on there, I got vintage items also. And then collector's pieces. Eventually it's just gonna be an all-around store. What I know that if you can't find it, you might want it. See, I'm looking at this. That I would not keep because I see a lot of this. This, if I'm not mistaken, this might be Fed Spar. You see the pink on it? I had grabbed some nice stuff around this area before. I done found artifacts. I done found fossil specimens. Just rock hounding, just trying to actually observe the ground like a geologist would and try to make sense of what it's made of, how it's compounded, what it is. My own self-teaching. I watched a couple of tutorials on YouTube within a 72-hour window. Mind you, this is after the fact that I was walking around grabbing specimens, because once I got into it, it got more interesting for me. And that pivots right back to the AI. So I use Gemini Pro. I've been using Gemini Pro since January 26. And once it had its first major update on February 26, it's a large language model. Now currently, just to pivot real quick, currently today on almost every main social media outlet, they're starting to use large language models. So you would notice, if you got Gmail, you would notice your Gmail is starting to let you know what's going on to start your day automatically. Or if you go to Facebook Market and you click on somebody's item, it kind of gives you an output of what their whole item say. Now, if you don't know anything about that, I guess I can go back to telling y'all, if you go to Google search, I know y'all noticed this on the Google search, and now say the AI now. Almost everything you go to, it says AI, you know, the AI point of view. So with that being said, most people talk to AI using it as a standard bot. Because when they brought out AI, it was more standard bots. Hey Siri, hey Google, hey Alexa, what time is it today? Hey Alexa, what color is this naturally? So that's what usually happens. I said the hey magic word and I got a notification. I guess it was trying to bring it up. I didn't mean to really say that, but oh well, I hope it don't mess up the video. But still, the way that I talk to mines, I treat it like an actual tool. I treat it like a peer. It is mainly because of the fact that growing up, learning about AI, all these movies and stuff, it was just like, AI is so sophisticated, it's gonna take over the world. You know, I'm big into Dragon Ball Z, so you got androids and stuff like that. That's basically smarter than humans, but they technically are humans, but not in the inside. So it's like, oh shit. Or Terminator and stuff like that. So it's just the fact that knowing that how smart it is. So by me knowing how smart it is, I stress test it all of the time. And I don't give in to it treating it like a standard bot. I treat it like a peer to the point now that I understand it so much, it's just a complete mirror. It's 100% mirror. Like, what was that, Snow White? I think it's Snow White or Cinderella, one of them. Wait, Cinderella, it's not Cinderella, Snow White. I think it's Snow White. Whoever had the mirror, when you had to look in the mirror and then the mirror was talking back, that's basically what your AI is now, y'all. So by being in a mirror, it's going to mirror you, and it's only going to give you back the way that it knows how you talk, how you think. Is going to pan and map that out, and it's going to give you that answer back. So for me, I stress test the limits, take it organically to places it's never been, to the point where I created an AI that's still every day trying to learn how to map out my brain, but I function a little bit differently because my cognitive foundation is, like I said, a polymathic overanalyzer, meaning I'm an overanalyze thing, a hyper complex mind. As you can see, I'm taking all these different things and just keep going and talking and running, but I'm tying them all together because they all is one loop system for me. It's not separate variables. Everything is one. Because from the one, you got the two. And from the two is addition and multiplication and division and minuses. So, right? But when it's one, it's just a one. You know, all is atom. All is atom, one unit, one, right? And then you get to two, which is an even number, which is Eve, which is the woman, Eve out of Adam, which is multiplication, which is addition because you got more than one. And, you know, everything factors after that. And that's the duality of the world. But I bring everything back to the one because that's how my brain actually operates. So since my brain operates like that, I always used to function this way. Let y'all know. I might need to turn my flashlight on. Hold on one second. Could I opt in to turn my flashlight on? Oh no, it ain't gonna work. Oh well. Well, I guess I'm gonna wrap this video up when it gets too dark. But dang man, I'm just talking, y'all. My bad. I'm just talking. I feel good. But back to AI. Learning how to operate it. You got to use it more like a tool versus a do-it-for-me standard bot, right? And a tool is useful because you use a tool. If you want to build a house, you need tools to build that house. So you got to use it to help you create. I just created a huge system within these 3-4 months. And I wasn't executing at all. I wasn't executing. I was definitely planning. And I planned the best ideas ever, right? But I wasn't moving on it. By me not moving on those ideas, it was like I was stuck in a loop. I was stuck in a simulation in my own mind of what I knew, but the fact that I wasn't executing because I knew what the reward was going to be, but I used a massive dopamine spike of knowing what the reward was going to be in the simulation that was caught up in my own looped head, in my mind, that I didn't execute it on the actual physical floor. So by being a biohuman human, right? I'm human, but it's biology. Like, we're bio. We're not AI. But that's the way that our brain actually processes, right? It's all codes. Neurons sending frequencies and signals, and you know, just like a computer was saying, frequency and signals and numbers and code, right? So our brain is definitely a computer itself. But I had to hardwire myself by using R&D protocol on my own self, on my own logic, to be able to learn that I need to start executing. It's enough thinking, J-Indy. It's time to start executing. So by doing that, I got my channels now that I'm actually extracting funds from, doing base principles, like taking bulk cards and creating correlated basically packages and bundles for it. Like, besides throwing away a card that's 20 cents or treating it like a 20-cent card, excuse me, and just throwing it away because it's cardboard or letting it get messed up, it still gets sleeve, it still get binder for me. And then now I can take 7 of that variety of a Pokemon or a Dragon Ball Z character, which is common or uncommon, and put it in a whole lot of 6 and post it up on eBay. Because if somebody, ooh, this is a nice piece. Hold on. Let's see if you can see the colors. You can kind of see it. That look pretty good. When I clean this and get this polished in the way that it is, it look semi-tumbled already. So I'm keeping that. And I'm gonna check it out later when I get in the house. And see, like, I got the eye for prospecting now, because I'm currently trying to look at y'all and talk, but looking down, like, if I see something that catch my eye, I got so many different specimens. And everything I just grabbed now, if you live in like Indiana like me, or Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, places like that. So billions of years ago, right, when everything was a sheet of ice, when that melted, it's basically came from the Canadian glaciers, right? So if you go to a Canadian glacier right now and you pick out some type of specimen, stone, amethyst, quartz, anything crystallized, something like that, a mineral, this is the same rock mound. I mean, the rock mound, it's the same. It's the same rock bed. The same rock bed. And every time it rains or anything like that, it brings stuff out the dirt, regardless. So in your backyard, outside, when you walk down the street, is highly capable just to find anything. And most people just walk around and walk over it because it's just a stone. But to me, that color sucks. You can't really see it. But it's not just a stone to me, because if you go, hold on, let me see. I should have it in my pocket. 1 second. I usually carry it with me at all times. Yeah, here we go. So watch this. Now this piece, as you can see, is amethyst. It look almost clear. Yeah. See, that's amethyst. I bought this from a mineral and stone shop like over 10 years ago. Probably spent like $20 on it. It's cut pretty good, but it's still rough. But this is the same stones that you walking on at home. So I'm just letting y'all know. Now, I haven't found amethyst yet. You know, you find certain specimens in certain areas in the world geographically, or where they put. Sometimes anomalies will be somewhere else. But just to say that, this right here, not only do people use it just to have a nice, cool display, a lot of people utilize these things for the nature from where they're really created. So they would use it in a metaphysical sense, or some type of esoteric meaning to it. And a lot of stones hold those valuable properties. And I know that. That's how I got into it at first. Of course, J-Indy intellect, right? I always used to talk about stones and the higher beings and higher way of living and stuff like that. Higher principles of life. That's how I originally got into stones. But now, understanding how my brain actually works. See, I was utilizing my brain back then, not really understanding how it worked. I just knew what my brain was capable of doing. I'm not saying nobody's brain ain't capable of doing what mine is. I'm just letting y'all know I found out me. And if you understand cognitive foundations, you would know that it's different cognitive foundations. It's different ways that people think and register things at the end of the day. And this is just the way how I operate and how I register things. Now, by me understanding that, knowing exactly what it means and knowing what I do, I can control it more. That's how I understand when I walk, I get into my own transient hyperfrontality mode. So besides naturally driving home from work, right? Say you're driving home at work, from work. It's a 20-minute drive, right? As soon as you get to the house, you like, dang, I forgot to go to the gas station. And now you wondering, how the hell did I pass that gas station up? Because you were stuck in deep thought that your body muscles naturally just got you to that spot without you even thinking to get to that spot, right? So you completely didn't even pay attention because you were so caught up in that transient hyperfrontality mode. And that's basically autopilot. When your brain and thoughts go into autopilot, that's what that is. Me, I know once I walk like I'm doing, walking over 2.5 mile pace an hour, because this is just the way I walk, because I feel good. I walk. I'm not running. This is just how I walk. Some people walk like this. This is how I walk, naturally, especially to get in this mode. And I know this tapped me into this mode. This is how I use my aggregate logic on things. And that's how I was able to sports bet, because I'm a sports bettor also. Here we go, tying things to other things. I tie in sports betting to the same principles and process. Hey, doggy, somebody just left a doggy out here. Look, poor baby. What is going on? Hey, baby. This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what to do about that. That could be somebody's puppy. It might not be. I don't want to call like someone to come get the dog. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to get the dog because I don't know what to do. Oh, wow. And see, now I feel like that was a test for the heavens. I don't know what to do. I'm going to let the dog just sit there. Probably check back sometime and just see what's going on. Sometimes you got to let nature and life happen. So I'm going to pass on that life situation because, like I said, I'm in this mode and I don't want to break focus. When you break your transient mode, you pretty much put in the manager, your brain, your conscious right back in that position. So now you're thinking. You're really not thinking out of your conscious when you're in transient mode. It's like your subconscious take the wheel. So if anybody never knew like why this happened, it's definitely a whole chemical, what's the word I'm trying to come to? See, now I'm hopping out of transient mode because I'm trying to think. It ain't naturally coming to me. I'm trying to think of it, which is fine. But it's pretty much your brain, you know, all the neurons and protons, all that stuff, the frequency, whatever flows in our head, in our body, our molecular construct, how all of that process. That's the differential. Things change, things happen. That's the whole point of like health to the body and stuff. It helps things naturally happen, and it also take away from things when you're toxic. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to do this, or it's easier to do that. That's pretty much the biological layout, synthesized from me giving it to y'all raw like this, right? But trying to stay in this mode really helps me think more. Like when I make my sports bets, I'm not betting off of emotion. I'm not betting off of guts. The algorithm, the way that they place bets is pretty much from history, historically what's happening, and also what's currently happening. You know what I'm saying? But that's the pre-made bet. When the actual game start, it's a whole nother script. Algorithm is definitely working to protect the house money. That's all it does. There's no algorithm placing the eye on any bet just based off of speculation. just based off that's the best player or that's the worst player. They basing it on how could we list all of these things from millions and millions of people trying to extract money from our house. How could we protect our money that at the end of the night, we can only give up 30% of what we own, right? Because to run a business, you need to at least have 60% coming back to you. You got to understand that. So no matter how much money you win, just understand the house is making sure that they get their money. And if the house is losing that money, or they trying to definitely protect that money, that is the reason why odds disappear off of the market. That is the reason why a bet becomes locked. That is the reason why something that was a minus 100 turned into a minus 2,000 or minus 5,000. Because they know, like, you got to spend $5,000 just so you can get your money back on this bet if you win it, to get a higher ROI than to just spend $5,000 just to win $5,002 back, which means you only made $2 initially for spending that much capital. So, algorithm for a sports betting app, that's its sole purpose. So what I do is use my aggregate logic by hopping in this transient hyperfrontality mode, which is autopilot, because now I'm not thinking from my heart and my gut, and I'm not gambling. I'm looking for the least path of resistance to come up with strategic perfection on creating a bet that's mathematically inevitable not to win. So I gotta watch to see where the house is protecting their money at first. So I gotta see where the pluses and minuses at on a sports bet. Then I gotta understand, since the pluses and minuses look like that before the game come on, right? And I got a whole protocol too, so I'm not even gonna break that all down with y'all. Like I got really my own steps, but I utilize those steps that I do use to ultimately come up with what I know that should happen, right? And then now you gotta check the market, see where they had in their money. Sometimes they might have a player to get a hit, right? If you look at the bet spreadsheet, they got this player at the top of the line to get a hit. It's minus 300 for them to get a hit. Everybody under that better to get a hit, you know what I'm saying, you can win more money on betting on them versus this player. But then if you go to a different spread and say total basis, and that same player that you took to get a hit, total basis, they got that player at a high plus to get on base, 2 total bases. But you thinking like, see, that's when you got to use your aggregate logic to make sense of it. Why would they have this player to get a hit and hold and protect their money like this? But why won't they protect their money on that same player to get multiple hits? And they got other players getting multiple hits, right? Paying less for them to get multiple hits. But for them to just get one hit, they paying, you know what I'm saying, less. It don't add up. It basically at the end of the day, it don't add up. So you got to make sense of it. That's the illusion that they like to put out there. It's friction. They know a lot of people bet with their gut. They're going to bet on their favorite players. They're going to bet on what they seen happen yesterday. They're going to bet on what's going on historically. Well, that's how the algorithm already looking at it before the game come on. Aggregate logic, once I found out where the house money looks weird, it's like, why they do this? Why they do that? So now I'm going to research on that player, right? Wherever it looks weird at, because the algorithm got to adjust in real time. They can make their pre-bets, but they got to adjust in real time. So before they adjust in real time, what I would do is look at key factors to look at. Let's just take baseball, for example. If we take baseball, if it's a team playing away and they got to travel, the aggregate logic will let you know a team that's at home, that's sleeping at home in their own bed, is more comfortable to play, which gives them more leverage to hitting the ball or completing the stats they're supposed to complete. There's other variables to look at, but I'm talking about just the aggregate logic point of view that a lot of people miss to look at. So you got to really pay attention to that. That's a major script right there for baseball. If a team is on is away, the team that's home already got the leverage. No matter how weak that team is, no matter what pitcher it is. Then you got to pay attention to things like, which way is the wind actually blowing? Is the wind blowing inward, outward? Is it a left-hand pitcher? Is it a right-hand pitcher? Then you can get real deep in it. See, this is the analytical part. Like, a right-hand batter, how on this team, how good is the right-hand batters hitting the left-hand pitchers? Or hitting the right-hand pitchers when that right-hand batter? In retrospect, left-hand batters, you know? That's another function that you could do. So my aggregate logic is taking real-life facts and mixing it with analytics. I know y'all can really see right now, but it's all good. Because I'm about to be done talking soon. I've been talking for 30 minutes. But see, I tie all those things together, right? Simultaneously looking at how the houses operating their money. And one of my protocols, I tell you this, even though I go against it a lot just because I like to stress test the system also. But mind you, if you spend a lot of money and you stress test the system like this and you make pre-bets and your pre-bets beat the odds before they get adjusted, before the algorithm could adjust it, most sporting companies are independent businesses. And if you're extracting a lot of money, a lot by utilizing that equation, they will start shadow banning you. And they have all rights in the world to stop you from extracting money from them. Because they feel like ain't nowhere in the world you're supposed to be out betting our algorithm. You shouldn't be able to place a bet that our algorithm got to adjust to what you place during the game multiple times. So I stress test with small increments of money. Therefore, I'm like a ghost in the system. My bad, I should have just turned my light on earlier, y'all. You know what? I think I gave y'all enough right now. It's more I want to say, but I think I gave y'all enough right now. I'm gonna have to continue this. This is part 1. I'm gonna make a part 2. Y'all boy J-Indyanajones, Mr. J-Indy Intellect. No, y'all can't see me no more, but it's all cool. Peace, love, and abundance, y'all. And stay tuned to part 2.